Is the US dollar's reign over? Seismic shift is underway in the global economy, and it's shaking the very foundation of America's financial dominance. China is making bold moves, and even Europe is starting to follow suit. What does this mean for the future of global trade and for you? Welcome to today's breaking news, where we dive into the story that's sending shockwaves through the financial world. China has just ordered its banks to reduce their reliance on the US dollar, a move that could redefine the global economic landscape. And here's the kicker: Spain, a key European nation, is now aligning itself with Beijing. Yes, you heard that right. A major Western ally is pivoting toward China. So what's really going on here? And how will this impact the US, the global economy, and your financial future? Let's break it all down. China's bold move first. Let's talk about China. For years, Beijing has been working to reduce its dependence on the US dollar, but now they're taking it to the next level. Chinese banks have been instructed to ditch the dollar in international transactions. This isn't just a small policy tweak. It's a calculated move to promote the Yuan, or RMB, as a global currency. Why? Because China wants to insulate itself from US financial influence and sanctions. Think about it. If you control the currency, you control the game. And China is making it clear they want to rewrite the rules. Spain joins the party. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Spain, a key member of the European Union, is strengthening its economic ties with China. This is a big deal. For decades, Europe has been a cornerstone of US-led trade alliances. But now, cracks are starting to show. Spain's pivot toward Beijing signals a shift in global alliances. It's not just about trade, it's about power. Spain isn't alone. Across Europe, countries are rethinking their relationships with the US and exploring new partnerships with China. Could this be the beginning of a new world order? Before we go any further, let me ask you this. Are you prepared for what's coming? The global economy is changing fast, and the decisions being made today will shape the world for decades to come. If you want to stay informed and ahead of the curve, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. This is the kind of news you need to know because it's not just about governments and banks. It's about your money, your investments, and your future. The bigger picture dollarization, let's zoom out for a moment. What we're seeing here is part of a much larger trend. De-dollarization. Around the world, countries are looking for alternatives to the US dollar. Why? Because the dollar's dominance gives the US enormous power. It allows America to impose sanctions, control global trade, and influence economies far beyond its borders. But that power comes with risks. For other nations, relying on the dollar means being vulnerable to US policies. And now, countries like China, Russia, and even some in Europe are saying, enough is enough. They're building new financial systems, creating alternative payment networks, and promoting their own currencies. The goal is to reduce America's grip on the global economy. What this means for the US, so what does this mean for the United States? Well, it's not good news. The dollar's dominance has been a cornerstone of American power for decades. If that dominance erodes, the US could lose its ability to influence global trade and finance. And let's not forget the economic impact. A weaker dollar could lead to higher inflation, increased borrowing costs, and a less stable financial system. In short, the stakes couldn't be higher. The ripple effect on you, but this isn't just about governments and big banks. It's about you. If the dollar loses its status as the world's reserve currency, it could affect everything from the price of goods to the value of your savings. Imagine paying more for everyday items because the dollar doesn't go as far, or seeing your investments take a hit because global markets are in turmoil. This is why it's so important to stay informed and understand what's happening behind the scenes. Thoughts and final call to action. So where do we go from here? The world is changing, and the US is facing challenges it hasn't seen in decades. China is rising, alliances are shifting, and the dollar's dominance is being questioned. But one thing is clear, we're living through a pivotal moment in history. The decisions being made today will shape the future of global trade, finance, and power, and you need to be ready. If you found this analysis helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your family, and anyone who needs to know what's really going on. And if you haven't already, Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth coverage of the stories that matter most. Together, we can stay informed, stay prepared, and stay ahead. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.